Yes, we're back. It's episode 12 of the Hibs Ramble, and again, for about the 100th week running, I'm joined by not Craig, but Shaun. How are we feeling, mate?
All the better for seeing you and being on the pod.
It's starting to feel like a regular fixture now, eh?
Just feel right at home, you know.
Quite right, mate. Quite right. It's been a pleasure having you on the last few weeks, Craig. I think we gave you a life update on Craig last time, but he was in Spain for a week on holiday, and he came back. I can't remember when he came back, but he's got a job interview to prepare for, which is today. So if you're listening, Craig, he's probably not. Best of luck, mate. And
Congratulations on the new job. Well done. You've done really well. The Hibs Ramble.
So we'll hear from Craig next week and see if he got the job or not. But obviously, all fingers crossed that he does. But less about Craig, more about the football. It's been an international break, Shaun, hasn't it? So we've not got any Hibs to talk about. Well, any Hibs reviews to talk about. But we do have some football to talk about, and that's the Scotland game. So we'll start off there, just briefly. Last Wednesday or last Thursday, we played Ukraine at Hampden.
I want to say Wednesday night.
Wednesday night, and it was a really, really good performance, I thought. For you said just off air that you didn't catch it all, you caught the last half hour.
All that mattered, really.
Exactly. I thought it was a really good performance from Scotland, actually.
A great performance from John McGinn's arse once again, so very well done.
And that's a national. That'll be in the museum.
I hope
soon enough. Cut off his arse and put it in the museum. But I thought a really good performance from start to finish from Scotland. Steve Clarke must have learnt that playing a 3 against Ukraine didn't work in the playoff game for the World Cup, so he tried something different, went with a back 4, and it seemed to work. Well, we looked pretty solid at the back. I can't really remember an awful lot of Ukraine chances.
I don't think they had shot on target.
Did they not?
I could be making that up, but I heard, I don't know if it was in an interview or if it was in a video or something, I think that they didn't have a shot on goal, shot on target.
Well,
I really hope I'm not making that up, and I'm now going to go and check.
Well, you go and check, and I'll fill the void.
Adamant. I heard Luke Shanley ask Big Steve Clarke that, so I'm going to go check.
No, actually, that does ring a bell, you know, in the post match. But
Live Score says that they had one on target, but oh no, it was blocked. So yeah, they didn't have any shots on target. Big man was right once again. Thank you very much.
So it's a really good foundation actually, because before last Wednesday we really hadn't been playing that well as a national side. We got pumped against Ireland away, and then obviously the time before when we played Ukraine, we got beat as well, which was pretty demoralising. But it looks like there's a little bit of character about this Scotland team.
Yeah, a lot of our performances have been very poor, but we've managed to nick 1-0s or 2-1s or nick a draw here or there. But I think the actual performance against Ukraine was very, very good, very dominating from start to finish.
I wonder if it's
top side. So
yeah, exactly. I wonder if it's because we did get beat against them in those playoff games, and Steve Clarke has had a look at that and maybe expected them to set up the same way, and we've just went and nullified all their attacking threats.
I think it helps that they didn't have Zinchenko playing either. So
yeah, well, it also helps because he's known for crying and getting his own way and stuff. So
he's not cried since he's been at Arsenal, so he's obviously a much better man now.
Get it right. Fuck it up, Zinchenko. The only Ukrainian that I feel sorry for is Mikhailo Kukarevich. I feel sorry for him.
You're going to elaborate on that?
Oh, just because he's Ukrainian and I like him.
All right. Okay. Thought there might have been something else to that, but obviously not.
So 3-0, 2 set pieces again. That sounds familiar at Hampden, 2 corners for the same side, into the same net. But no, I mean, we'll talk about the John McGinn goal first, but that was a really good finish. But for me, the second and third goal, once the second one goes in, if you're Ukrainian, you take steps to then try and stop the exact same
Yeah.
thing happening again, which it did.
Very uncommon. Two very similar goals coming so close to each other as well. So fair play to Auston McPhee, set piece manager. What a guy. What a
Exactly,
good
aye.
looking guy.
Just needs a haircut and then that'll be him, eh?
Is he going to be our contender for Kebab Shop of the Week?
To be,
Austin
to be
McPhee.
fair, to be fair, Austin McPhee, it could be between him and Malky Mackay.
He
You
could be the
know?
delivery driver. Austin McPhee could be the delivery driver.
Aye. Yeah, they'll use the grease phase here to fry the chips in.
Yeah.
No, so 3-0. We'll not talk too much about that because obviously it's the Hibs Ramble, not the Scotland Ramble. But then moving on to the Ireland game on Saturday, I was out at the theatre. I was away to watch Book of Mormon with me and the missus. We'd had
Don't ruin it.
tickets.
I've got it booked. Got it booked.
Oh mate, it's so good. We'd had tickets for like 3 years, right? And it kept getting postponed and postponed and postponed. But I mean, we saw it on Broadway in New York, so it's it's a bit of a step down
A
from that.
little
But
time for you now, eh? Not as
you
big
know,
as you used to be.
if you've never been to Broadway, then I'm sure you'll enjoy it.
Been to Broadwood. I've never been to Broadway.
No, it was really really good actually. We really enjoyed it. It was a good laugh. Although it started at 7:30, and obviously that's when the Scotland game kicked off at 7:45. So then at the interval, I was checking my phone, 1-0 to Ireland. I was going, for fuck's sake, man. And then I text Craig and I went, listen, I'm not going to have my phone on vibrator that. It'll be on Do Not Disturb, but just text me updates so I don't need to like look through the apps to find out what the score is. So then when at the end, I had about 16 texts for Craig being like, penalty Scotland! Oh my God, VAR! He's giving it! And talks about Jack Henry and all that. So thank you, Craig, for doing that for me because I was buzzing actually. And we were walking out, and I was saying to Megan, I was like, oh, half decent day, going to see Book of Mormon and 2-1 for the Scotland. And a boy turned round and he went, what was the Scotland score? I went 2-1. He went, oh fuck, to Ireland. I went, no, it's Scotland. And he went, yes! Mate, it was fucking fast. It was mental. But was the game good?
We were absolutely horrendous for the majority of the match. Actually, I was thinking about this the other day. I think that happens quite a lot when home nation sides play each other. Predominantly, the shitter nation ups their game and makes it difficult for the better nation.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've seen it at the Euros when we played England.
They had to step up, eh?
So, but nah, because a lot of the players play in the same league and play similar styles, I think it's just a coming together of philosophies and mentalities with home nations. So I wasn't surprised that it was a very, very poor game to watch. Really, really glad that we managed to get the win, of course. Deserved as well because the second half we were a much better side, pinned them in. We looked a bit suspect at the back, like they could catch us out with our pace, but big Craig Gordon,
Big man,
legend,
I've heard that he's
saving
that he made quite a few
Scotland
saves.
once again. So just like he does Hearts every week.
Bastard.
But now a very, very good performance second half, deserved to win. Ireland are a team of nobodies and a team of diddies, really. They're a shocking side.
Send them all back to the West End of Glasgow, absolutely fuming.
Shocking side. Honestly, it's so bad.
Yeah, well, I only saw the goals, but I thought the build-up play and the cross from Christie for Jack Hendry's header was superb. I've got absolutely no idea what Jack Hendry was doing that far up the pitch.
Like everybody, like I was criticising Christie in the group chat.
Well, a lot of people had said that. I thought Christie was poor on the Ukraine game as well.
Well, there's a wee bit of a, I don't want to call it a curse because that's the wrong thing to call it, but every time somebody gets slated in my group chat, they go on to have an impact, and it just happens all the time. It's normally like Man United players that get slated and then they come on and score a goal or whatever, and I'm fucking raging. But I slated Christie, and then literally 2 minutes later he got the assist, and then he obviously scored the penalty.
Got the
So
penalty as well.
really, really good assist for him.
Turned it round second half then.
And then obviously didn't sky the penalty, so can't complain.
Exactly. But we've got Ukraine again tonight. Are you watching it?
I will be, yes, I will be. I'll be back in time for that.
Exciting times. And a point is all we need to top the group and get promoted. Are we already promoted, or
No, we need a point.
we need the point? We need the point. So
I hope I'm wrong, but it won't happen.
I can't see it.
We'll
Especially when they're playing in Poland as well. I can't imagine that there's going to be an awful lot of Ukrainians.
I think it plays in our hands that we're playing in Poland, but I just don't think we'll get the result we need. I hope I'm
Really?
wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I just don't think we'll get the result. Nah.
Well, Dykes is out, isn't he? Dykes got
and
food
Adams.
poisoning from Tom Kitchen. I thought Adams was all right.
Well, unless anything's changed for yesterday, then he's out as well. But
I saw pictures of Adams training with Kingsley and Mackay, so I suppose we'll. I guess we'll never know.
Even if we do have them, I still don't fancy us to get a result. I hope I'm wrong. So
I think we'll get a result. I think Ryan Porteous will play.
Good.
I hope Ryan Porteous plays.
Scottish football's been a meltdown since he got the call up. So
we'll go on to talk about that in a wee bit because we've got a question about Ryan Porteous in Scotland. But less about Scotland, more about Ryan Porteous, more about Hibs. We've got Ross County on Saturday. Shaun, are you going?
I will not be in attendance. No.
That is terrible from you.
Well, there are. Not only do I have plans already, but
on a Saturday, you should know better.
The last time I went to Ross County, as I was arriving in Inverness, the game got cancelled. So thanks Shaun Mackey for giving the boys a heads up as we were arriving into Inverness that day. So I ended up spending the day in a boozer watching the Arsenal game and then got the fucking train home. So I went to Inverness to watch Leicester Arsenal.
What was the score?
We won.
Was that the one where Ramsdale made that really good save?
Unreal save, and we started really well. So it ended up being a good day, but
could have been better.
Honestly, it was such a draining day, honestly. And then the time before that was the midweek fixture. Was it mid? It was midweek. I'm sure it was midweek because Marvin Bartley scored for Livy against Hearts at Tiny.
Yeah.
We were singing the Marvin Bartley song, and we had just scored at the same time. And then we went on to get beat, maybe.
Oh, probably. We've got a really poor record up there.
I don't really have I don't have fond memories of going up there, and thankfully I will not be there this weekend.
I've only been a few times. Like more when they first came up, is when I started going. I'm sure I went up. It was under Butcher. It was like a Tuesday night or something. And we got beat 1-0. The season we got relegated, so that's not
Butcher's Hibs.
Yeah, I mean there was about 50 people there for Hibs. It was embarrassing. I'm sure we went up for the Scottish Cup one year. I think Danny Handlin scored. I don't think I've seen us win up there all that often, but
I've not seen us win up there.
I think I've seen us win once up there in the Scottish Cup. And I think that was also under Terry Butcher. I can't mind. Anyway, we're rambling. We're Hibs rambling. Ross County, not in the greatest of form, Shaun.
Definitely.
One win this season in the league. In 7, granted they have played Celtic and Rangers and Aberdeen.
And
1 win in 7. Have they played Hearts? Yeah.
Yeah, played Hearts as well, I'm sure.
Oh, did they? Well, I've completely missed that if they have.
Did they not get beat 2-1 by Hearts, no?
Fuck knows, honestly. I've not done that much research, obviously.
I'm sure I've seen them. Sure, let me check. They did get. Yeah, they did. Yeah.
They get beat by Hearts.
Yeah.
So it's not really been the kindest opening for Ross County.
First game of the season.
It's difficult to judge these teams this early on in the season. I think it takes until the first round of fixtures until you see. I mean, you can judge Hibs, Hearts, Aberdeen sometimes United and stuff. But like the Motherwells, Ross Counties, St Mirren's, I think it will take the first round of fixtures until you can really gauge where they're at. Thought Ross County had a really good season last season.
Well, they started off poor after 10 games, so again, it's hard.
That's what I'm saying, eh? So
it seems like that, eh? It's the same with Motherwell. They didn't win a game, but they won one game after New Year and still ended up in the top 6. So, yeah.
yeah, exactly. So 1 win and 7. They're sitting 10th with 5 points. We're sitting 6th with 11. And a win.
We could have been very easily in the position that they're in. So thankfully,
Exactly. That's because people get sent off against us all the time. But one
this weekend.
Probably it'll be Ryan Porteous, I bet you.
Yeah.
We've got if we win on Saturday and results go our way, it could see us up to 3rd. It's quite tight above us. It's quite tight below us as well for a few places. I'm not too sure we'll get the results otherwise, but I think we will beat Ross County. I think
we can only drop as low as 8th, I think. So we can't go too low. So yeah, you don't want results to go against us, but it's not. If we don't win, it's not the worst case scenario. We should be winning.
Right.
It's Ross County, but it is away. It's a tough place to go. All the
usual. With all due respect, I mean, it is a tough place to go.
But the thing is, you've got Hearts play Rangers, so that'll be a tasty game. So that could potentially go in our favour. Aberdeen are playing Kelly, I think. So
Aberdeen are in a bit of free fall as well.
And Derek McInnes will be up again. I fancy them as well. Motherwell are playing Celtic, so that's 3 results that could potentially go our way. You've then got Dundee United, St Johnstone. That'll be a boring 0-0 guaranteed, 100%. And then
there's never been more of a stick on for a 0-0, is there?
And then you've got St Mirren, Livy, which could have goals in it, considering how well both of them are doing. So I think it's a very, very good week for us to get the 3 points.
Yeah.
I think it's vitally important that we do, in the hope that the other results go in our favour.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's like you said, it is a very, very difficult place to go. Especially, they're hammer throwers up there. At Ross County, they're not known for playing beautiful, silky football. I mean, they were last season, kind of, but
they had the players to do it though, and I think they've just replaced a lot of these players with more rejects and more loans. So
I think the boy that they've got, I can't remember. Is it Awuwa or something? Awuwa, something like that, and he plays out wide left. I think he's all right. He was obviously the replacement for Charles Cook.
Edwards.
That's the one, Awura Edwards.
There you go.
So I mean, they definitely do have danger, man. I think Malky Mackay's got a little bit of a golden touch when it comes to picking players out and kind of kicking them on.
He's good at nurturing rejects, a bit like himself.
Basically, aye. I mean, he's an absolute, he's a fiend of a guy. He's a scab of a man, but he's half decent at getting these players to play. I know. I guarantee you, if we'd have signed Regan Charles Cook, he would have been an absolute flop.
Yeah.
At Hibs. But less about that fucking idiot, Malky Mackay. Let's have a talk about the team. We've got McCurdy back. Does he slot into your team? No?
Nah, I think purely because of how well we played in the last game, I think it would be wrong to try and change it.
You did say that.
McCurdy will play, he'll come on, grab a goal, we'll see the celebration, and all will be well, and we'll go back down the road with 3 points and 3 goals. But nah, I don't think the team should get changed, and I can't see the team getting changed either. I feel like it would be doing some of the players a disservice that played so well in the last game.
I agree. I think Lee Johnson is of the same kind of thought as you there, is don't change a winning team. it's actually a breath of fresh air. The fact that he knows what his preferred 11 is at the moment.
Yeah.
Compared to when we had Jack Ross and Shaun Maloney, and they were chopping and changing the 11 every week. It seemed like. I would agree with you. I think Yuan didn't have the best of games against Aberdeen, but he's set up a fair few goals for us, and he is a danger.
He's a good player to have, and he's a good option to have wide as well. We spoke
He's
about that.
definitely a good option to have. It's not as if it's not as if playing McCurdy would then not allow us to bring on someone who's got a breath of pace and can get in behind the defenders. They're very similar, I think, in their play styles. I think McCurdy can maybe play across the front, anywhere across the front. But I think Yuan is primarily going to be used off the left. But I think that it's a very good option to have either McCurdy or Yuan on the bench. And, we might see McCurdy come on and score a couple, who knows, and he might be in the team for Motherwell.
Yeah, I think it's a great game for Pukarevich. Like those are the type of games that he will thrive and that he'll do well. He done well against Aberdeen, and I don't doubt that he'll have a similar kind of impact.
Do you think he'll start them?
I think he will. Yeah, after that awful prediction in the Aberdeen preview. But unless there's anything wrong with him, I don't see why he wouldn't start. It's the type of game that it'll suit him. Pitch is narrow as well, so it's not like we're going to have much width. We can have that option of going long and getting Boyle and Yuan to feed off of him. So hopefully that's Josh Campbell, of course, the goal scorer.
Our goal machine.
Yeah.
I think I completely agree. This must be the most boring podcast ever. We're agreed on everything. I think Kukarevich, and we've spoke about it before, definitely gives us that different kind of dimension up front. It's a player that we don't have any of them apart from him. Big, tall, likes to get his head on things. I also think he's very, very clever.
He's also very, very handsome as well.
He is a good-looking chap, isn't he?
He helps.
Very clever. Exactly. I mean, that's what he did for Josh Campbell's first goal against Aberdeen. Both the defenders were away asking him on a date or something, and then Josh Campbell just slipped him behind. But no, brilliant. I think I would go with the exact same 11 as well. Despite McCurdy being back available, I think even he'll probably know that, Harry McCurdy. But I would love him to come on and score, because I'm absolutely gagging to see that celebration. I've actually this sounds stupid, but earlier on, since you're not going, it doesn't really matter to you, but I googled how long it takes to drive up to Ross County, because I'll be going on the bus on Saturday, and it takes 3 hours and 26 minutes to drive there. This is from Easter Road to Ross County Stadium.
Right.
And these are some things that you can do to pass the time. You can listen to Sunshine on Leith by the Proclaimers 41 times.
Is that it?
That's it, because it's like 5 minutes long, 5 minutes and 40 seconds long or something. 41 times. That's a lot.
I'm surprised. I know, but 41 times. I would have expected it to be higher.
A lot of times, though. That's a lot of times.
Maybe we can listen to it 41 times on the way home after we win.
I will. You could watch Anchorman 1 and Anchorman 2 back to back.
Much better choice than listening to Sunshine on Leith 41 times.
You could also watch the Scottish Cup final twice.
Again, every suggestion is much improved than the last one.
You could solve a Rubik's Cube in the amount of time it takes the average person to solve one.
Right, okay, now we're going down a slippery slope here.
Or the best option, on average, you could listen to 5 episodes of the Hibs Ramble. On average, we start on average. Because sometimes we go a little bit longer, sometimes we go a little bit shorter.
Well, maybe if there was more... What's the word that I'm thinking of here? Content that's not specific to games. like the shirt one where you can listen to it any time. Then
Well, I mean, why don't after you've listened to this, listen to the short one again if you've already listened to it?
but this time watch it on YouTube so you can see everything instead of hear everything.
Exactly. What would you do if you were driving up to Ross County? How would you pass the time?
Well, I'd most likely be the one driving if I was driving. That is.
I know, but if you're on a bus or you're the passenger, what are you doing?
Abusing people on Twitter.
Oh, aye. You're good at that.
For the majority of the journey on the way back and on the way up. More so on the way back if we get beat.
If we get beat, then it would be account private.
I'm not one of those weirdos. Like to abuse a few people, shit the bed, and then privatise their Twitter.
Listen, mate, it happens, eh?
Bed wetter. What did I do the last time? I actually think I did watch a movie on the way up the last time on the bus.
You need to conserve your phone battery, though. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem.
It's difficult.
I know.
Because it's 3.5 hours on the way up and 3.5 hours on the way back.
Well, on the way up, you could put some research into a coupon or something like that. Gamble responsibly, everyone.
Gamble responsibly. Exactly. Yeah. Tell you what, Shaun. What a guest you are to have on. Hitting all the tick boxes and everything, man. Superb. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm definitely going to take some rum in a hip flask.
Yeah, I was wondering where you're going with that. Okay.
Some rum in a hip flask and have a wee drink on the way up. But I did that the last time, and I had a drink on the way up, and then I never had any drink for the way back. So.
Yeah, but you can get drink before you come back down the road.
Yeah, but the bus that I go on doesn't allow drink. Really.
I won't comment on that bus then.
It's one of them. It is one of them.
I can't comment altogether because I don't drink, but.
Do you not?
Never.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't
this
believe
man has never been drunk.
He's straight edge society.
And for the listeners out there, no, I don't take anything else. That is normally the go-to question after that. It is then followed up with a hard drug.
He can't.
Once is no again.
To be fair, I don't think you can even afford to drink because of all the football shirts that you buy.
I was about to say, where the fuck are you going with that? What are you trying to say?
Right, we're on a tangent again. Shaun, what are you doing to me? Right, predictions.
3-0 Hibs.
3-0 Hibs. Who's your scorer?
It'll be the comfiest win that Hibs will have this season.
The comfiest win that we'll have this season.
Yeah, can't wait for that to get clipped after we get beat.
I mean, fucking hell. That is a bold statement.
Comfy. It'll be comfy.
I hope so. Who's your scorers?
Boyle 2 and Paul Hanlon.
Boyle and Paul Hanlon.
That's when you know I'm lying.
I can't.
I think we'll get. I think a defender will get one for a corner, and we'll get 2 on the break.
I'm going to go for 3-1. I don't think it's going to be as comfy as we think. I think it's going to be one of the ones where we concede first and then we'll maybe score in 3 in the last 20 minutes or something. And it'll look like a really good result, but we'll be like, that's papering over the cracks. That's papering over the cracks. That's what I'm going to say. And I'm going to go, who's going to score? I think Campbell will score again. I think Kukarevich will score. And I think McCurdy will come on and score.
Okay.
3-1. And I think Ross Callaghan will score for Ross County.
A horrible guy.
You can't say that because one of our listeners, Jeff Ashton, who's actually sent in a question, that's his nephew.
Oh wow.
That is
a great guy.
Yeah, and I said to Jeff, I went, well, good luck to Ross to a certain extent on Saturday.
I wish all professional footballers a good luck during their game. I just hope that some have a terrible game and some have a great game.
Well, that's what Jeff said. Jeff said a very small
nature of footballing.
Exactly. Well, we'll move on to questions now. Now that we've talked about you, Jeff. Um,
All
and
good.
we'll start with Jeff actually. He says a front three of Boyle, McCurdy, Boyle, Kukarevich, and Harry McCurdy, or stick with an out of form Yuan.
Stick.
I think so too. I think
He might.
to say that
You could say he's out of form, but I mean, I wouldn't say he's out of form. I would just say he's not got the
I would
break of the
say
ball to score yet. I think he had a poor game against Aberdeen, but all his other games have been really good. So I personally wouldn't say he's out of form. I think he's just in need of a little bit of luck.
yeah, I would say he had a poor game against Aberdeen. I don't think he's out of form, like you said. Um, I'd be happy with him starting. Liam Riley says, in your opinion, what are some of the most overrated Hibs players? Mine would be Stephen Fletcher.
As in, that's his over.
That's his.
Right. Okay.
That's his most overrated Hibs player.
Most overrated Hibs player. Jeez, oh.
I'm going to cut in and say Fraser Fivey and Dylan McGeoch.
I think Oh, I will take no Dylan McGeoch slander.
Not
Absolutely
that he wasn't
tremendous young man.
he was a great player. He really was. But I think people think that
There
he
was
was
a
a lot
reason he
better
won
than he
Player of the
was.
Year ahead of John McGinn because he was better. He played better than John McGinn that season. But hey,
But I would
not,
say
not,
Fraser Fivey is more overrated than Dylan McGeoch. I really
I
didn't
thought I thought a
like
lot of people
Fivey that much.
didn't rate Fraser Fivey. I thought he was underrated if I'm honest.
No,
Uh,
I didn't like Fraser Fivey. I
oh,
don't know
that's
why. Don't know what it was about him. Didn't like him.
that's a can of worms. That's what that is.
It is.
Can't think of any off the top of my head.
That's a cop out. That is a cop
You
out.
got have you got any more that I can debate with you and tell you how wrong you are?
Have I got any more? Have I got any more? Overrated.
Stephen Fletcher was brilliant at Hibs.
I thought I think Stephen Fletcher was perfectly rated
I
at Hibs.
think he just needed better players around him because as he was coming through, a lot of the golden generation were moving on. So I think he would have flourished a lot more. And there's a reason why he's played for the clubs that he's played. Mate, he played for Marseille and played games and scored. So like,
I know.
no, he's a good player. But hey,
No, I
I'm
thought
not getting
Stephen
riled
Fletcher
up
was
here.
good.
I'm
I
not
thought
getting
Fletcher
sweating
was
up about
perfectly
this.
rated. Liam Riley is opening a can of worms. He's good at that. He's a good boy, but sometimes he's
I think you could genuinely have a podcast alone episode discussing overrated and underrated Hibs players, and that's what I think we should do.
we
Get a
could do that.
list,
Let's
put
that together.
questions out, and then get people to chuck in their underrated and overrated Hibs players, and then we can argue it out. Because I feel like we'll have different opinions, considering you said Dylan McGeoch is overrated.
I know. I think that's kind of taken out of context though, because I think McGeoch was brilliant, right? I
No,
just
that's
think
the clip. That's the clip.
that's what I've said. I thought McGeoch was really good, but I think people thought he was a lot better than he was, and
Want
that's been proven now because he's been pish at Aberdeen and fuck knows where he is now.
I want to name one. I really, really, really want to name one, and I can't for the love of God. Think of
We'll
it.
move on then, and we'll come back to it. John McIntosh asks, "What's everyone having for dinner?"
Well, this was yesterday, yes, right?
It was yesterday, I asked, but I'll take yesterday's dinner and today's dinner.
I had a Coronation chicken curry yesterday. It
I had a
was.
chicken pakora pizza for the chippy.
Oh, I don't know what I'm having tonight.
I don't know what I'm having tonight either. So I mean, that was a bit of a redundant question to ask for tonight. I think we've got pulled pork in the fridge. I might have pulled pork.
Oh, you can't go wrong with pulled pork.
Pulled pork burritos, I think. Next up, Haley asks, from all the players who have played for Hibs, no matter when, which three would you like to have dinner with and why, and what would you feed them?
John McGinn is 100%. John McGinn would be one. I'd want Jason Cummins in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute great crack, the young man. The Aussie international goal scorer. Congratulations to the come Dingo. As he's renamed out there. So that would be two. And my third, the thing is, I could have went for older players, but the older players that I loved were all like foreign. So like Dirk Lehmann, Paco Luna, Mixu. Sozzy, stuff like that. But my three, this is a tremendous three, by the way. John McGinn, Jason Cummins, and I've completely drew a mind blank on who the third one was. Yogi Hughes. John
Yogi Hughes, that's a good point, actually.
And what would I make them?
What would you make them out?
Cabbage and
Cabbage
ribs.
and ribs. To be fair, I think I would also choose McGinn and Cummins, but for those listening that doesn't want it to be boring, I'll choose a different three. I think I would go Boyle. I think Gary O'Connor would also be a good patter.
What a man he is. What a human being Gary O'Connor is.
Martin Boyle, Gary O'Connor, and I don't know. I bet you like Graham Stack would be quite good patter.
Great laugh.
That's where I'll go. Boyle, O'Connor, Graham Stack, and what would I make them?
Used to come into my mum's petrol station when I used to work there, and he'd come in and he would chat away to you and that, and he's got all the time in the world for everybody. Brilliant
Good
guy.
lad. And invincible as well.
Yes, he is.
What would I make them though, Shaun? I tell you what, I made homemade Nando's chicken the other night. So, and Megan seemed to like that, so I would make them Nando's chicken, Nando's style chicken.
I think that'd be a great shout.
Next up, a question from my father, Colin. He says, when all our players are fit and available, what, in your opinion, would be the best formation, starting 11 and subs bench? I think subs bench is maybe, I kind of think players for subs, but
I think
starting 11.
I think the way Lee Johnson plays, I think the 4-2-3-1 suits the players that we've got now. I can understand if we do revert to a 3-5-2 now and again, but I don't quite feel that in an attacking sense we don't have the players to do a 3-5-2, and I don't even think we have three bloody centre halves that are good enough to play centre half for a start. So I would stick with the 4-2-3-1, and at the moment I think we just don't change a winning formula. I know how boring that is, but
that is boring, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to stop you there, and I'm going to go with mine.
Explain, sir.
I'm going to stop you there and go with mine. Marshall, goalie. Cadden, Rocky, Porteous, Chibraya. Kenny's sitting. Campbell a little bit further in front. McGuinness in the 10.
Okay.
That sounds really weird, but it would work.
Okay.
Boyle on the right.
So Noah Kenny 6, Josh Campbell 8, McGuinness 10. Right, okay.
Yeah. Boyle out wide right.
You want to say Yuan, but you say McCurdy.
I want to say McCurdy, but I've not seen enough of him. So Yuan and Nisbet up front, through the middle.
In my opinion, the best 11 that we have, ability-wise, so the same players that you've just mentioned is back four. I would have Kenny and Newell in there though. There's a lot of unknowledgeable Hibs fans out there just think both of them are absolutely horrendous when they're actually not. But
I think Kenny and Newell work really, really well together, but I wanted McGuinness in, and I also wanted Campbell in.
I would have Boyle right. I would have Ewan Henderson in the 10.
Aye.
I'd have Nisbet up front, and I've not seen enough in McCurdy to put him wide left, so I'll stick with Ewan.
No Bojang.
Who?
No Bojang.
Who? Honestly, big Bojang man.
Well, Dad, I hope that answers your question, and when I come round later tonight, you can tell me what your starting 11 and subs bench would be. I mean, subs bench, that's asking a bit much. I don't know if I could name you 18 Hibs players.
I do, however, on the topic of underrated and overrated players, I've got two players for you.
Who?
So overrated, Jorge Claros. I think everyone blows smoke.
I think he was a good player in a pish team.
Yeah, because he was in such a poor team, I think that makes him look better. If you put him in a decent Hibs squad, he would have got nowhere near it. And massively underrated, in my opinion, Owen Doyle. I think he got overshadowed by Lee Griffiths quite a lot. As good as Lee Griffiths is, again, I think if he's in a better side, which he was when he went down south, he bags in the goals.
Yeah, no,
Natural
I think I can
punishment.
agree with that.
Come at me.
Well, we'll await everyone else's comments on what you think about Jorge Claros and Owen Doyle. Billy asks, Porteous was apparently booed by the Scotland fans when his name was announced at Hampden. What is it we as Hibs fans see in him that others don't, and is the criticism valid? I'll say we see that he's a terrific football player, and everyone else sees that he's a thug. Because
That's what I was about to say. What do we see in him? Quality.
the only time that he gets, shown on sports scene or in the papers or anything is when he puts in a bad challenge or whatever, something like that, and all this media circus around Porteous apparently diving against Aberdeen, but there was absolutely nothing about him playing as a deep purlo and pinging the balls about left, right, and centre.
He's in the top 10 most creative players in the league, and
And he's a centre half.
centre half.
You could understand that from a fullback.
Is he not the first?
He's created the same amount of chances as Boyle. Same amount of chances as Boyle is created. I mean, it speaks for itself. I think
if he was booed by Scotland fans, then obviously it'll be a minority, and those minorities are absolutely nonsense, in my opinion. Well, Rangers fans don't support.
Oh, neither they do.
It's obviously the
Aberdeen fans then.
They still would have been home crying over their flags and their Lizzie cutouts.
Would have been Jim Goodwin then, just doing a really loud boo.
Oh, megaphone. If he was booed, then that's absolutely embarrassing as a country. So,
well, to be fair, when Ian Black came on for Scotland at Easter Road, he was booed.
A bit different though. He shouldn't have been anywhere near the Scotland squad.
Yeah, no, I think Porteous got there on merit. I think he's played really well this season. I take that back. I don't think he has played really well this season as well as he played last season, but he's still been good for Hibs.
Yeah, we spoke about it the other week. Like he's asked to adapt his game a wee bit more and take a few more risks, which makes him not look as great, unfortunately. But it'll come.
But he's trying it, and no one else, as a centre half for Hibs is trying anything like that.
He's got more ability than some of our centre midfielders, so there's a reason why he's so creative.
Exactly. And finally, a question from Joe, and he asks, where has Dimitri Mitchell gone? He seems to have dropped off the face of the earth, and Lee Johnson never mentions him.
I can't even remember what his injury is,
Well, I think Craig seems to think that Lee Johnson doesn't fancy him, which then makes the decision of spending money on him in January completely bizarre. We knew what his injury record was like when he was at Hearts, and even when he was at Blackpool. I think he's a good player and he's a good asset to have, but I don't think he'll be on a pretty penny in terms of taking up wages.
I think at the time we needed a player like him that can play anywhere down the left. So I can understand the signing. A decent enough player, good enough to start for Hibs? No. Is he at a higher level than Hearts? Absolutely, because that's why he's at Hibs. But I don't know. Like, he was meant to be back on the grass, meant to be back training. I've not seen any pictures of him doing full training. It is a bit of a mystery.
I hope that we find out, actually, because he is a good option to have. I'm sure he played against St Johnstone in opening game. I'm sure he came on against St Johnstone.
Yeah, now you're asking.
Opening game.
Maybe if Hibs hold another murder mystery, maybe he's going to be the one that's hosting it.
And maybe he'll be the one that's been murdered. But no, and that concludes all the questions. So once again, if you've sent in a question, then thank you so much, because we really, really do appreciate it. I say this every week, but we really do appreciate it, and all the listens and all the love that has been shown to the podcast. We know that there's a few other ones that you all listen to that are probably a little bit more refined than this one at the moment, but no, we appreciate all the listens. And
I thought you were going to say other ones that are not as good. That's what I thought you were going to say.
Well, I mean, there's a few that aren't as good, eh? Like that down the slope, fucking pish. I'm just kidding. I'm just only saying that because I know. I'm only saying that because I know that no one from down the slope will be listening this long. But no, we love everyone at Down the Slope and all the rest of the Hibs podcasts as well. They're all brilliant. But we do appreciate that you listen to us as well. And that's enough from me talking about that. But again, Shaun, thanks so much for coming on your lunch break today.
Anytime.
And we'll reconvene next week. Craig will be back joining us next week. If you want to join us again, Shaun.
If I'm welcome, I'll be here in attendance.
We'll welcome you with open arms, young man. With open arms. You've done well on your trial. I think we're going to activate the clause. To sign you on permanently.
That was the last hope. It was either me or you were talking to yourself for an hour.
I can. I mean, imagine that.
Well, listen, that would have been
But yeah, so thanks again for coming on, and we will catch you all after we have pumped Ross County. See you later.
Cheers.